Welcome back to Simply Satisfied. I am your host, Greg, and today I am joined by Nicolette. She's an amazing person. I'm going to do the whole world a favor. I'm going to let her tell about herself. We're just going to get straight into the meat and potatoes, but welcome to the show, Nicolette.
Well, Greg, thank you so much for having me. You're passing the buck on to me. Okay. So, okay, I'll wait for the cue for me to start talking about myself then.
Well, so
Right
let
now?
me let me ask you this: is
Okay.
if your life up until this point was a highlight reel, what would it look like?
Dramatic. Um,
Dramatic.
it's like those I don't want to say soap box type of a series, but it is like a telenovela.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, not okay. I don't want to make it seem like it's bigger than it was, but I mean, going through I guess that's the starting point of why I went up a different trajectory of my life from being an accountant to a podcaster and somebody who's working in the mental health space. And that was because of my divorce in 2019. And then the second one was when I was at the height of my career, when I thought that I was already climbing up the peak, but everything came crumbling down. It was during COVID. So it has been a rebuilding journey so far for me. And it's the sixth year in right now as we speak.
Okay. So you were an accountant,
Yes.
and then
By qualification, but then I wasn't an accountant for a company. I was more of a consultant for different industries across
okay,
this 15 years that I've been working. So, mhm.
okay, and then COVID and a
Yeah,
divorce.
divorce and COVID.
Divorce
Divorce
then
first
COVID.
and yes, divorce first and then COVID. And well, that made me sit with myself because I thought that I could just get away from the whole premise of processing the feelings, the emotions that come with the loss of relationship, right? But COVID happened, and that kind of it's like the universe saying, "Okay, Nick, you cannot run away from this one. You got to sit with your feelings and really process everything of who you are, basically. Your own essence." It's been a
Yeah.
journey.
So your divorce made you sit with yourself, and then COVID really made you sit with yourself because
Oh yeah,
you had to stay away from everybody else.
exactly. To be honest, that was the first time that I had to be with myself for the longest time ever. Like
Really?
since yeah, like because I left home uh at 18, and then I was by myself. I was studying a different state, and then yeah, I kind of made my n- life at a different place away from my parents. Now I've been very close to my parents, but so 17 years with them, 15 years in another place, and now I'm back. It's a full circle moment for me. I'm back with them right now, and it's been a journey for sure.
Okay. And we're gonna unpack that journey even deeper, if that's okay with you.
Of course, let's do that.
So COVID happens. You just went through a divorce.
Mm.
You At this point, you're not living with your parents. You're living somewhere else. Where are you living?
So I originally I was from the east side of Malaysia. It's called
Okay.
Sabah. It's the Borneo side, and I moved to the capital, Kuala Lumpur. So
Okay.
that's the west coast. Okay, so um, yeah, and that's where I went and did my university time, and then I started working there because obviously the city has more opportunities, right, and better pay. And that's when I went with the crowd
Yeah.
and met my partner. Then life kind of just happened, and I had this notion, or I had rather I'm a planner since I was a kid, so I thought that life at 30 would be it, and then it would plateau and everything is just sunshine and rainbows after that. Boy, I was wrong, because at 30 was when everything uh, came down and I had to rebuild from scratch. But I'm not rebuilding from, I would say, I'm not reinventing the wheel. I am rebuilding from experience now. So that is
Yeah. So
that's
when you say you're not reinventing the wheel, you're rebuilding from experience. What do you mean?
okay. When you're so I'm a headstrong person.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
People that come to me, they would be like, okay, Nick, don't do this. I would actually do it twice and then smile at them like, look, this
Yeah.
is I'll prove to you that I can do it. Um, and those experiences have led me to be more courageous than more times than not. I should be more cautious, but it really pushed me out of my comfort zone. So I'm a person who I'd like to not that I'd like to. I'll hit myself in the wall a few times, at least one time, and then learn the lesson then. Because if somebody would have said to me, okay, don't do that, don't invest, whatever, you know what? Let me do that calculation. Let me make that judgment myself.
Yeah.
And some paid off, some didn't. Okay. And those were the things that were actually teaching me, okay, Nick, you shouldn't go to this way. You should actually be smarter and go to this route. And so reinventing the wheel means, at least in my own definition, is that I start again from, okay, I having to find a new job. For example, a 9 to 5. It was a 9 to 5 before for me, and now full on podcasting and full on my own business practice. And now I hone into my biggest, I would say, my strength. And my strength is what? Connecting with people. I like the work. I like the idea of work. The whole reason as to why I got into accounting was because of safety.
Yeah.
Okay. And um everybody needs an accountant. But then the other part of it is I wanted to be somebody of service. I didn't know that how I'm going to express that. I just wanted to be somebody of service, but that kind of manifested in different industries that I joined in. So I was cruising through my 20s. I went into different industries, trying to search for something that's aligned to myself. And finally, when I went through, at least right now, my second act, the divorce happened, and I had to sit with myself because I was chasing for those external achievement. I was trying to prove myself to the world, like who Nicolette should be.
Hmm.
And that I can take, I can take you back to how I had those kind of reprogramming. Now, don't get me wrong, I love my parents very much, but my dad has this notion. He was from the he was in the army for a bit, and he's always instilled that inside my head, at least my sister and I. Education is key, and you've got to prove yourself. You've got to prove your worth for you to get something. And I've been that A student all my life, great student. And once I left home, I said I wanted that freedom, but I kind of knew that I cannot break their trust in the sense that, okay, don't go do drugs and whatever. Okay, you can party or whatever, but
Yeah.
just be make sure that you know how to take care of yourself. So I did, but at the same time, I wanted to experience life on my own terms.
Hmm.
And those things have made me see the world, and I have accumulated my journey, lesson, and experiences from there. So it's been 15 years since I'm living on my own, and right now I'm back with them. And so from there, I've I've gotten a better hold of myself in the sense of what are my flaws. I wouldn't say weaknesses, things that I could improve on, but then the strength where I should leverage. You know, I had this last year because I left my job last year, and I had this boss. This boss said to me, Nick, um, you should not just focus on your strength. He said, you should focus on your weaknesses too. And I'm like, I don't agree with you.
Yeah.
You know why? Because so he's from, bless him, he's from China.
Okay.
and he came over to Malaysia to set up a center, and of course English is not his first language, Chinese is. And so, and but then I was hired as a head of quality, for the system, the processes in the center, and we had very different set of skills. So he needed my expertise for the Malaysian market, and obviously I had to rely on him because of his expertise in the center, because he has set up another center in China, and he's now setting up another one here. So we had this. So when we're just sitting and he told me that, and I don't really agree, that was when I knew that this is another telltale sign from the universe. Okay, Nick, you should focus on what are your strengths, and that is connecting with people naturally. Like I do it naturally. People, nobody around me, at least I can say, that does this. Oh, whenever they see me on a podcast or talking to my guests, they'll be like, Nick, where do you get all these people? And they're not even Malaysians. Well, thank you to Podmatch. I'm connected to them via there. But yeah, it is. I would say I am somebody who doesn't like to follow the crowd. Um, I like to blaze wherever I can.
Yeah.
Yes.
Were you that way your whole life?
Yeah. Like, yes. I'm gonna admit, I'm gonna be accountable, and I'm gonna own that. Yes, I have been like that, and that did come with a cost of, okay, so if you're different, I mean, we're social creatures, we want to be accepted, we want to be in the tribe, right? But then for you to make that change, it has to start with yourself. So if you are not comfortable, or you're not satisfied of where you are at that moment, or the environment that you're in, you got to do what you have to do. And if that means cutting off some people, okay, I'm going straight to the basically
Diving right
just
in.
building boundaries. Yeah, diving right in, knowing or distilling at least your energetic boundaries. Because again, one thing about me, I pick up on people's energy very easily. So whenever I'm with them and they tell me something, I could almost sit in that, in their pain or suffering, or whenever they say something about them being very joyful or happy about something, I can almost feel that. So it's like I like to envision myself in their shoes, and that can be very draining. So I don't want to use the term empath here very loosely, but I can pick up. I'm very intuitive. So
Yeah. Okay.
that's
And so I like how you said I don't want to, using the term empath very loosely, right?
yes,
But
yes.
and that term, I have a love-hate relationship with the term empath
Why is
sometimes,
that?
because there are people who believe themselves to be empaths who are not
Mm,
empaths.
mm.
It's there's a fine line, and some people are like, oh yeah, I'm an empath, and then you go to have a conversation with them, and you can
How
recognize
so?
you can
Right?
recognize that
Yes.
they're not an empath. So I actually I want to rewind a little bit.
Okay.
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 I have I have a question about the sitting with yourself, because you said that you got divorced. COVID happened. You moved from an accountant role where you felt safe. You moved from a role and a life where you felt stability, right? Into something greater, which we'll get into. But what were some of the things you learned about yourself when you had to sit with yourself, and what were some of the things that you had to destroy of your old self?
I had to destroy the fact that I need to prove myself worthy in order for me to receive the blessings that the universe has to offer for me. So number one, I can an example of that would be just right before the job that I was laid off from last year, is a job that every accountant wants to go into. It's one of the I think it's a yeah, one of big Fortune 500 companies, and that's like the end goal, be all for an accountant. And I was there, and I never planned to be there, Greg. It somehow, I don't know, the stars aligned for me at the time, and I ended up there, and I stayed for about close to 3, yeah, 3 years. And that I thought that I had achieved it all, and I tied my self-worth to that.
Yeah.
Only because Nicolette has gotten to that position, or I purchased my uh out of this world. Okay, I bought my Mercedes Benz when I was 28, and
Really?
it's first, yes, and that was with the, it was again. So I wouldn't want to say, but my ex partner was the one. He helped me pushed, and he helped me realize that. But then I was holding, so a part of me was trying to prove my worth to my family. But then when we got together, it was him that it, it was him that pushed me to my potential. But then when he was taken out from that equation, I had lost my sense of self. So I didn't know how to stand in my own power. So I had to destroy that. That means leaning onto the 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 trying to believe, or this belief of my dad would despise me because I'd go to him for help,
Mm-hmm.
and wanting to seek for validation or others to love me, so then I can love and accept myself wholly and fully. And so I didn't know what was happening. It was everything's in a chaos, obviously. And the way I reached back or get in touch with my heart was to sit with at least every song that I encounter. So I started looking into astrology. I started looking into chakras. I started looking into divination tools, how to meditation, yoga, and anything just to get in touch with my essence as who Nicolette is. If I were to strip everything that I've built so far away from me, who am I?
Yeah.
If I don't have the car, if I don't have the house, if I don't have the job, if I don't have this mask that Nicola needs to be perfect, or she needs to certain way of herself to the world, who am I? Am I a good daughter? Am I a good friend? Because throughout those years of chasing, I did neglect some my friends that were around, and they at the time when I was about to get married, they were like, "Are you sure, Nick? Are you sure?" So they were looking out for me. I thought that they were just trying. They don't really want to see me happy,
Yeah.
because I'm a person about in my group of friends, in their head I would be the last to settle. So me breaking the news to them that, oh, I'm actually getting married, their jaws actually dropped, like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I was 26 then. Can you imagine? I was 26, and everybody's just okay. They finished college when they were 24, so just 2 years into the workforce. But I entered the workforce very early on at 19, because again I was trying to rush through life. So that kind of bring me that brings me to my next mantra that I use in this next phase of life. Nature's never in a hurry, yet everything is accomplished. And I'm just taking everything at the pace that I need to take them. And I wait on divine timing. So those are the things that I had to destroy and relearn about myself. And also, an example of that would be listening to, feeling every um, music or every song,
Yeah.
really embodying that the lyrics of it, and
That's good.
the movie. And so just because I think I've gotten, my heart has froze, I would say, I felt numb because after the loss of that relationship, I really tied that my self-worth is worthless because nobody would love me. At, when I had that, I shifted my focus 200% of my focus to my work, and it didn't work out either because again the egoic self was saying, okay Nick, love department is not for you, then go do what you do best, which is studying and working, and you're gonna excel. And again, that was the egoic side of me saying, and the life universe had to humble me in a way. Okay, took it away from you. So I took 2 months of sabbatical from that job.
Yeah.
And that was when I said, excuse my language, F this. I told my dad, and my dad, he was worried because you got bills to pay and I can't support you just 100%. So you gotta you gotta do what you gotta do. And so I really, that was when I started reevaluating my life decisions, and I said, okay, um, I give back the control, I surrender to you. And so the I'm a person of faith. I was brought up as a person of faith, and then when I went away, you know, I wanted to see what's life like, and I finally, God's grace has actually saved me multiple times.
That's amazing.
So yeah,
So
thank you.
you learned a bunch about yourself. You destroyed the old parts,
Still,
right?
still learning,
Still learning. We're always still learning. We're always still learning.
Yes.
Now, you destroyed the old parts, and this is where the journey starts to take a turn, because you were
Mm,
in this role, you had this partner, you went through COVID, which I know for everybody was like, what the heck? And
yes.
then you start to enter into Act Two, which if Act One was the fall, Act Two is what I would call for you the stepping out phase, which is you're stepping out into something new, something brand new, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's you're just taking steps. You're not like jumping, to completely
I
rising to
learned
the
my
top.
lesson. Yeah.
Um, but
Been there, done that, burned. So now I'm more careful.
yeah,
But yes.
so now, right? If somebody were to ask you, Nicolette, who are you? What would you say?
Wow. Thank you. I'd say I am joy, I am peace, and I'm love. Because that's the very basic building blocks of life, isn't it? If I could distill, if I could find that common denominator among all sentient beings here on earth, on this plane right now, what is that one thing that keeps us together? That's love. And joy is when whatever that I'm doing right now at this present moment, if I'm talking to you, or if I'm drinking, or if I'm watching some good movie, I want to be able to sit in that and not dwell about the things that I needed to do. And what does that look like for me? That means I am joy. I'm happy. I'm happy with myself. I accept myself fully, and I love myself to every bit of it. And number three would be peace, because when you're at peace, Greg, nothing that is outside of it you cannot control will ever shake your core. And I think I've achieved, again, I don't say achieve, I've achieved that to a certain extent. And I practice it every day. So I have, um, my youngest sister is only 12, and she gets on my nerves. She gets on
She
my
tests your
nerves.
peace a little bit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And
Yeah.
I remember telling God and asking God in 2022, during still 2021 to 2022, I want to achieve that peace. And God, you know how he works, right? Okay, you do the work, and then I'm going to send you tests to see if you fail it, if you fail them, or if you're going to ace them. And I think I failed the first part, the first few years, but right now
Yeah.
I've gotten so much better in regulating my emotion, especially when it comes to her or those things that just they come at you, like, okay, I can be very transparent. I just step into a business, right? My own entrepreneurship, and so my income's not stable, and you have bills to pay. Usually before, when I have stable paycheck, it's like, okay, you're allocating this blah, 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 blah. But right now you're like, oh shoot, I don't even know when my next paycheck is gonna come, but I'm gonna trust. But in the back of your head, there's this cloud that's asking, okay, you need to settle this. You need to settle this bill and whatnot. And because I'm an accountant, Greg, so it is ingrained within me that I need to get my financials right. But right now, it is not where I want it to be. But I've learned to trust that it's gonna work out. And I can tell you, today, a miracle also happened, and I've gotten I got paid for my second partnership. So
Wow.
it's help. It's help again. It's help in the biggest way that it could. Now, the amount is the quantum of it is, to me, it's what the universe thinks that you're ready to receive. So right now, in what my mind can comprehend, it is not as big as I hoped it to be just yet. But perhaps the universe thinks that I'm not ready to receive that big amount yet. There's some work that I needed to do, and so I trust in that. But it's helped me, and I could settle some of the things that I need to settle. So I've really learned how to dance with the universe. So I that's my testament to again God's grace and just learning to trust, because I'm a person, I like things to be in control, at least before, but right now it's okay. I don't mind being second in command. You take the lead.
Yeah. Okay. So you got your partnership, right?
Yeah.
You're
Yes.
you are also a podcaster.
That is correct.
You have your own podcast, which is called,
You're worthless.
which is very
Dot.
direct.
Read that again. Dot. The juxtaposition of your very soul. So the three parts to it.
3 parts. So
So
you're
you're
worthless.
worthless. Yes. Ouch.
Ouch.
If something stirred within your soul, there's something that you need to work on. There's something saying to you, okay, am I offended? Uh but then I ask you to read that again. Really? Are you sure? Because then the last part kind of sums it up, because it is opposite to why you're here. I mean, the fact that your soul is here means you matter. You are a matter, and therefore you matter, and therefore you're worth it. And that's the whole premise of it.
Yeah. Okay. And so you have your podcast. You also became a coach,
Yes.
right?
By force.
But
because I
well,
didn't want to because I didn't want to join the 9 to 5 anymore, Greg. I had to be very honest with myself,
yeah.
because I remember giving my 2000% to this job, at least the job that I had to take sabbatical from, and nothing came out of it. Maybe I said if I were to try again, yes. I never say never. Okay, I love the idea of being corporate. I love providing strategy to people. This is what I do, and most of my skills, it's built me to who I am today. For me to
Yeah.
be able to speak to you and people, it's because of that. But at the time, if I was given a choice, do you want to start your own thing and have that freedom that you want, or you want to work for people and build their dreams? Because already you're putting 2000% for their build their dreams. Why not put 3000% to do what you want? So I hope I'm smarter. I obviously took the second option, and right now I'm in it, in the infancy stage of it. Or
Yeah.
okay, one more. Sorry, this just came in. This just got downloaded. Tony Robbins, I think it was an automated message, but I check and double check. Tony Robbins, there's a sponsored message, right? And I don't know. I think he sends out to people, and then he wrote this message. Okay, I wanna pair you up with our strategist call, and I just got a call. In fact, before this interview with you, with your scheduling coordinator to talk to one of their results coach. So I was like, okay, of course. Now, being an accountant, you'd want to think, okay, there must be an investment, right? Obviously, and you're talking about Tony Robbins, but the heck with it. Like for me, we all get messages. I'm sure you do too. People pitching their business, but and I usually just don't. I just say, I'm bootstrapping because I just started out, but this one, let me see, because Tony Robbins has been my I would say my self-help guru when I joined my workforce. So having him come reach me on my LinkedIn, although it may not be him, okay, might be his team, obviously, but I feel like the universe is guiding me. So yeah, today alone, it's just
Yeah. It's amazing. It's all happened today.
today. Yeah, it's it so the lady called and said, okay, you're not gonna do the coaching with me. Obviously they're gonna pair me up with a coaching a strategist to see, to basically, based on my outcome or that disc personal questionnaire, that pair me to what and see what are my top values and what do I want to achieve in terms of being a coachee with Tony Robbins, and the investment that I need to make. And so, you know what? Even if I get to that stage, at least I can get a feel of what's it like to be with the elite coaches. So, I mean, it's big, Greg.
Yeah.
It A lot is happening and a lot of moving parts. Before I would be like, okay, Nick, you want to control all the outcome. But right now, okay, I'm just gonna let go, breathe, take in the moment, pause, and then go for the next one.
Yeah. So how did you know that connecting with other people and doing your own thing, how did you know that that was your purpose?
If I could do this without getting paid, I could talk for hours. Um, and I could talk for hours, and I love doing it. And so that's why I lean into that. And it's good that Podmatch pays us hosts. It's not much, but you know, it's not much, but at least there's something. And so I thought that, okay, this is what I want to do. And how I knew that this is what my heart wanted was because when I talk to them, and every time I leave a conversation or I walk away from that conversation, I felt refreshed, and that person on the other side felt that he or she achieved something or felt something that they will carry for the rest of their lives. And like I said, I pick up on energy if from that um the point that the starting point where we would meet the first time and it's off. I'd usually know when to say no or
Yeah.
just reject, right? But then after, usually 10 minutes after, in my head, I know how to manipulate or use it to my leverage, that I make them feel good and they make them look good. And I think that's my biggest strength. And so I lean into that. And starting my own thing is not the whole, that wasn't the goal. Yes, money was the goal, but what is it that I want to do if money is not an issue? Yeah, I guess that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
That I want to do day in and day out if money wasn't the issue.
Okay. And so you started the podcast, you started the coaching. Now you call it your coaching. It's transformation coaching, right?
Yes, transformational lifestyle.
Transformational lifestyle. What does that mean?
Ooh, that means in a simple terms,
Yeah, simple as possible.
aligning mind, body, and soul.
Okay. Aligning mind, body,
Mm-hmm.
and soul.
Yes, that
That's,
means being whole, being
yeah.
a whole person, getting in touch with yourself, with your
Okay.
essence.
So
Mm-hmm.
if somebody came to you and said, my mind, body, and soul are not in alignment, I don't feel like a whole person, help me, what would you tell them?
Ooh, come sign up in my program. No, but really, my framework is based on these three words that I have found to be effective for me. Number one, do I feel worthy? Number two, am I showing my truest self to the world around me, regardless of my flaws? And yeah, flaws. I don't want to say weaknesses. Number three, do I deserve of all the abundance that I need to receive, and that the universe is ready to receive me? It's to basically give me and provide for the lifestyle that I want to. The third part, so if you do the first two parts correctly, the third part is automatic, because if you know your worth, you cannot be anybody else except yourself, besides yourself. And when you do these two things right, number three, the abundance, now it's just not just monetary, but it also means your health, your emotional well-being, your social well-being, spiritual aspect of things. You're gonna, once you go to that frequency and that vibration, you invite all of this abundance, and the right people will come into your life, the right
Yeah.
opportunities will open.
Yeah.
And I guess I portrayed that right
You did.
just few minutes ago. Now I haven't had the time to really sit with myself and reflect today what just happened, because today, out of this week, today is the busiest. I've got, I think, 5 meetings, and you're the second one. It's just 9:16 a.m. for me, so
Yeah. Okay.
exciting.
Exciting times. Exciting times. Now, big thing that you mentioned, huge thing. And I don't think it's talked about enough. I know it's talked about a lot, but I don't think it's talked about enough because there's still people out there who don't know it, is knowing you're worthy of something. And you said when somebody knows their self-worth, okay? Now, I am a person who, just like you, from what you mentioned, used to suffer from imposter syndrome. I used to suffer from perfectionism. Uh, used to suffer from control problems, selfishness, egotistic behaviors, all that, all of that, neglecting friends, everything else. Everybody goes through it. I feel like everybody goes through that phase except for maybe some people. But anyway, and following the same kind of type of journey as you, I was forced to sit with myself, right? And one of the biggest things that I'm still on the path, I won't admit I'm there yet, but I'm still on the path, is self-worth,
We're
right?
never, we're not there, because we're always learning, Greg,
Correct.
on until we're 6 feet underground, and when we merge back to that infinite source, to be honest. So you are right where you need to be right now.
Exactly.
Sorry
And
to cut you off.
you're good. And that's exactly what somebody else told me. It was like, you're not there yet because you're always there. And I was like, okay, that makes so much
Oh, I
sense.
love that.
Um,
Yes. Yeah.
well, they actually said you're out there yet because you're always here. And they were talking about being present. But going back to what you said, you are worthy. Okay. How can someone, anyone in the world, begin to truly believe that they are worth what they want and what they need?
I'm gonna go to the technical side of things, because I also am a hypnotherapist, and I believe in, not believe, this is science. 95% of our actions are driven by our subconscious mind. Now we're very conscious right now when we're driving, however, from here to our office. Have you ever had those moments where you jump into your car in the morning, but then at 15 minutes, 20 minutes later, you're already at the office, but you don't know how you're driving, right?
Yeah, this
How did
morning.
I get here? Oh, you see, just this morning. And that, what was that? That was your subconscious programming you to get to your office, because this is what you've told it to, or you didn't have to tell it. It records it for you
Yeah.
24/7 non-stop. So what happens if, say, from the age, 0 to 8, 0 to 7 is where you form your sponge, right? You are absorbing everything and anything around you that people say to you. If you hear this notion of money does not grow on trees, money is the root of all evil, money is hard to come by, therefore you need to work your, excuse my language, ass off to get that X amount of money. And say for a kid who loves singing and then being told off by their, not okay, friends, yeah, maybe bullies, fine,
Yeah.
then yeah, bully is a big thing, or a teacher that they love and look up to and say you cannot sing. How do you think that kid will grow up to be? But she's just maybe Adele in the making, right? So that's subconscious programming since you're a kid. So now that kid will grow up feeling small, feeling that I am not worthy of going to audition. And but deep down, her desire to be seen or just to sing her heart out and touch the lives of the people she needed to touch, because that was her, the whole reason of her being put on this earth, she didn't get to fulfill it because of that one thing. Now, subconscious programming, this is where hypnosis comes in. We go into deep into that. I mean, this is why people work with me, right? And I
Yeah.
want you to come and work with me too. And we get that connection as to why the issue that you have today was because of this very specific. Usually there are 3 to 4 specific events that come up for each issue during a session. But once you understand the connection, why you felt that way, and right now you're an adult, you can provide these things for yourself. For example, you can go on stage. Are they still there? Are they still important to you? Is this teacher still important to you? No. Do you have your own voice now? Yes. So once you create that connection yourself, I'm just here as the guide, and now you reframe your beliefs that, hey, everything is available to me. I am good enough and I am worthy enough of getting invited on that stage. For example, if it's a speaking event or singing, going for that, being a being a judge on, I don't know, some television show. So that is the whole premise as to why worthiness is so important. Analogy, my own example. I could lowball myself and price my programs at least 20, I don't know, 50% off. But I know if I do that, what am I attracting? If I see my self-worth as that, what am I attracting? I'm attracting people who may not be ready for that, or they just not serious. I price my, this is just, I'm just taking an example right now. I price my coaching programs as such because I know the people who's willing to sign up with me are the people who's serious and they care enough about themselves and they want to transform their lives. And therefore, I had this back and forth thought in my head too. Dick, do you price it because you're early, you're new? I said, no, this is the very thing that you advocate for, right? You need to know your worth. And plus, your achievements, you've been in the industry, you've gone through so many things, and there's so much knowledge you can impart to people. Why the heck not? I mean, you oftentimes, if not 100 times, we are the ones holding ourselves back. Not your mom, not your dad, not your kids, not your partners, significant other. So, that is the tip of the iceberg of learning to understand your worthiness. Of course, we go through some rigorous exercises as to why you think that. But the key thing is to make that once you once that light bulb is switched on, and then you'll start the way appears as to, this is why I actually took the job that I thought that this wasn't what I looked for, but then because it was just there and I had to take it
Yeah.
because of this is this. You justify. And our mind is the best in justifying something to keep us safe. That's what our minds are there for. I mean, to keep us safe from those saber tooth. But is it still applicable today? As to compared to our ancestor those thousands of years ago? Not really.
No.
We're safe, but we impose that upon ourselves. Yes.
So, do you think it's important for people to? Do you think it's important for people to have safety then?
Of course, we are wired for safety. But then again, Greg, I believe in the concept of duality. When there's safety, the ship is not meant to be it's not meant to be anchored by the dock, right? Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
It's meant to sail. It's safe. It doesn't have to go through the rough seas. But what is it built for? So see yourself akin to that ship. If you're just thinking of safety, you're gonna miss out on these ebbs and flows of life. And once you get to the other side, so say you let go of the anchor and you actually sail out into the sea, yeah, you'd probably, there are moments that you're the ship. Hopefully you don't capsize, right? but that's where but the journey is what makes it all the reason why you're here. You're built in the first place. And once you get on the other continent, for example, this is where you meet another ship and you say, hey, this was my experience, and had you not gone, you wouldn't have any stories to tell.
Yeah.
So just a simple analogy, but if you really look at it, it's very powerful, and I hope people can resonate and really think about their life. So coming back to you, safety is important, yes, but take calculated risks as well.
You need
Don't
to
just
patent that line and put it on t-shirts or something. You're the ship.
Thank you. Maybe one of my merchandises, right? Yes, you're the ship.
I can just imagine like a logo right here that says "You're the ship," and everybody's like, "What does that say?"
Yeah. I like that wordplay. You're the ship. Wait, what? Ship. Okay. No,
Exactly.
that's a
Exactly.
good opener for, my whole story as to, now you need to know your worth.
Yes.
It's a good
Listen.
one. That's a good one.
Listen. If you don't use it, somebody listening to this is probably going to.
I know, right? No. And it's not patented, so I can't. Okay, but let's see. Maybe.
Anyway, let's reel it back in. So worthiness, huge, right? You gotta believe, and then safety. Okay, it's important to have safety.
Yes.
Like I think that there's a good balance between safety and suffering. I think there's a good balance. There's a good balance between everything. But
Would you say suffering? Because suffering is a big word, Greg.
It is a
Suffering
big
is in the
word.
mind. I would want. May I invite you to rephrase that to
I will.
risk?
Okay. Risk.
Risk, right?
Risk.
Risk. Because suffering
Risk.
is a very big word. I mean, you can be
Correct.
suffering if you don't have yeah, because suffering has a bad connotation to it. You're suffering because you don't have anything to eat. But on the flip side of it, are you really suffering, or are you just because they say fasting makes you closer to the divine? And so, and if you think of it, you flip the script, who knows, the next person that comes by and say, hey, you want to grab lunch with me, just because you don't have that money.
Well, and it's all a matter of perception, right? So like,
yes,
let's go back to the ship, right?
Uh-huh.
If you took two captains from two ships, right?
Mm.
And one of them, they both are on, they're coming up to a storm, okay? And one captain has a perception of, ooh, a storm. This is going to make me a better shipboat captain to go through it. It's going to
Mm.
put a little wear on the boat, but people are going to look at the boat. People are going to look at me and be like, wow, he's a really good captain because he goes through the storms, right? He's learned a lot. This ship has been through a lot. This ship is mighty and it sails well. Whereas the second captain is like, oh, let's go around the storm because storms are
Are
bad.
they on the same ship, or
No,
they're
two different ships.
maneuvering two different ships?
Two
Okay,
different
okay,
ships, two different ships, two different captains, right? So the second
okay.
one is like, sees the storm as suffering. Now both the storms are the same. The storm is the same risk. So the suffering comes in the perception, right? And so,
Yes.
however, the reason I said suffering, one, it was great wordplay. Safety, suffering, they both start with S. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but
I saw you. I saw what you did there. Yes.
the other part of it is some people will see risk as suffering. Some people will see risk as suffering and not go for it, right? Some people will see risk as just taking risks and that will make them go for it. But the gap between is the people who see the risk as suffering and go for it anyway.
So my best guess is that you're the third one.
I
Are you?
try to be the third one. And that's the reason I used the word suffering is because, and
100%.
that's why I asked the question about safety is safety important? Because what I've noticed from a lot of people, and I spent years in the coaching realm. I've talked to a lot of people. I actually looked into getting back into the coaching realm because I love having these conversations. I love connecting like we are just right now, having these conversations about at some point, I don't know when it was, I became obsessed with human potential. I became obsessed with, can we become better in everything, every aspect, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Um, and at some point, I started looking around and I was like, okay, everyone who's not, quote unquote, not progressing in life, they feel stuck. They are not making any progress, especially when it came to, I was working in a gym. Everyone who's not making progress, not achieving their goals, every single one of them felt safe.
And how does that play out for them? Are their health getting better?
No.
I mean,
And that's where the balance comes in, is the ones who took the risk, even though it was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to suffer. Like the biggest thing, and I think this is where we're getting to with both of us, right? There's believing you're worthy, and then I think there's achieving you're worthy. Like the number one fear in the world is public speaking.
you?
No,
You're
no. The number one the number one fear in the
statistically,
world,
okay.
in
Okay.
statistically, is public speaking. Do you know what number 2 is? Death.
People would rather die than speak.
Yes. So that means that if somebody was at a funeral, they would rather be in the casket than giving the eulogy. And so, but you know what public speakers say when people want to learn public speaking? They say, go public speak.
Exactly my damn point.
So you gotta, I mean, the whole thing is like, you gotta go take the risk, right? You gotta,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I use the word suffering because like I said, great wordplay. but some people will see a risk and think that's a lot of suffering. And so if we call the elephant out in the room and we just say, yeah, that's suffering, then people are gonna be like, wait a minute, you see it too? Like, they're gonna be like, wait a minute, it's not just me.
Yes.
And I think that's really important. I think that's important. And bringing it back full circle.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think that a person starts to believe in themselves over over what other people think of them?
First off, do these people put food on your table?
It's a good question.
Are they there to criticize you because they are just as afraid, or they're just as afraid because they projected themselves into where you are at the moment, and they couldn't even fathom that you're doing the very thing that they're scared to do, and therefore they talk about you. Because often, and again, we're energetic beings, so even though you're empath or you're not an empath, you pick up because aura speaks first. Energy speaks first before you walk into a room. And so I'm saying this because there are people out there who supports me in what I do, and there are people who just they don't say it out loud, but you can tell that their doubts. You can sort of feel that their doubts, like, who does Nick think she is? So, and in my head at that point, if I believed in the higher power, and that mean, what does that look like to me? I've tested this so many times, leaning into my fear of being judged or learning to trust with the experiences that I've have accumulated so far, and my aspiration, and that the direction that I'm going for, and with, and that is with God. Often the latter wins. And so this is what, it's a muscle that I practice every day, Greg. It's not a one-time thing. When you say you used to suffer from imposter syndrome, I still do that, and I haven't gone on to TEDx speaking event just yet. But I think the night before, at least maybe the week before, I'll still be, oh yeah. But then that night or 2 nights before that, I'm like, oh shit, I'm actually speaking. And so, what if people find out that I'm a fake, right? That's the whole thing about being imposter. Like, what if I cheated my way? What if they found out that I cheated my way into speaking at this event in front of 5,000 people, and they're going to take away the very thing that I talk about? What if they find out that it's not true? This is imposter syndrome. But then what was your purpose at the end of the day speaking to other people? Um, the whole purpose of it from the beginning, was it because you have a message, or because you wanted to help people? And just lean into that. Whatever that comes after, you got people signing up for your courses, or you have business opportunities now wanting to work with you, collaborate. So that's it. And you will have haters that, oh, I think your framework sucks. It doesn't work. I've tried it before and I've signed up with yada, yada, yada. Um, I don't know. I'm about to name drop, but I can't think of anybody right now. And your framework just sucks. So, but that is the sign, right? If there's nobody is hating on you, meaning you're not steering something very strongly, and you're not making an impact just yet.
Yeah.
So,
Amazing. Amazing.
yes.
Now,
Okay, I hope that
Yeah.
I
No.
got
you got it. You hit it. You hit it.
okay.
Now, to kind of bring it really full circle, Nicolette, to kind of wrap up the show, I'm gonna ask you one more question, and it is the recurring theme of Simply Satisfied, right? Because I, like you, I like to help people. I like to connect with people, and I believe that if we continued that trend, if we looked at every generation beyond us and we said, okay, how can we leave this generation better than us? How can we leave this place better than us, these people better than us? I think that it could change the world, right? But my last final question is, looking back at your life, what is one thing that you wish you knew earlier in life?
That everything's, but I kind of knew that already. I want to say everything's gonna be all right, but I kind of knew that everything's gonna be all right. Life is the journey. This is the point of me being human, is to experience that range of emotions, and that means experience life. I mean, we are our past, our future, and our present. And I'm going into spiritual side now, but truly, whatever that we prayed, whatever that we envisioned, we're already on our way to achieve it. And had I known that earlier on, I would have taken bigger risk, but also being smarter about it. I would say I would just go for it. I would lean into the opposite of fear, which is love, more into all the things that I do.
I love it. That's a good answer. That's a really, really good answer.
Okay, thank you. Did I do a good job today?
You did.
Whew.
You did. Now, do you
Okay.
have anything else you want to tell the audience before we wrap up?
Oh, all right. I just want to say thank you, Greg, for giving me, for letting me share my story with your network, with your audience. I just want to say thank you. You doing Simply Satisfied. When I saw the profile, I was like, okay, meaning she's reached that epitome of being satisfied with life, and so that prompted me to actually reach out and see if I could be on your show. And this has been super, super fun conversation. And I love diving into this type of topic. So for those listening, tuning in right now, and if any of the things that I mentioned stirred something within your soul, be it good or bad, you want to come up to me and say, Nick, I don't think you're right. Please, I'm an open door. I have an open door policy. You can reach me on all of my social media. But if you feel that I am somebody who can help you with whatever it is that you're going through right now, it could be just a quick call. I have a free clarity call with me. And if you don't want that, and you still need that trust, you can go to my digital books. Or if you're ready for a one-to-one, I am there. You can reach me at my website. It's my home. I am everything's there. My podcast, my media appearances, my testimonials, and my whole range of products, virtual and services, digital guides at www.thenicknierras holistic. There's a W in front of the H, lifestyle.com. Or I'm also available on social media. I'm active on LinkedIn, YouTube for my podcasts, and Instagram and TikTok too. So I'm everywhere. And you
She's
can WhatsApp
everywhere.
me.
She's everywhere. And for everybody listening, I'm going to put all of that stuff, as much as the character limit will allow me, in the show notes. So I'm going to put
Thank you.
everything first off, her website. I'm going to put everything so you guys can reach out to Nicolette. You can tell her all the good and even all the bad if you have it. I don't think there will be a lot of bad, but we'll see. But thank you so much, Nicolette, for being here. This has been awesome.
Thank you. Right back at you, Greg. Thank you so much for the work that you do.
And for everybody listening, as always, keep smiling and keep striving, and I will catch you guys in the next episode.